Good morning and afternoon. It's Wednesday, 9 a.m. Pacific. Welcome all, I'm Kane, and today I'm joined with David, better known as the Workday Sharing Guy. Also joining us is Denise, Logan, and special guests. Welcome to the Sharing Show.
Thank you, Kane. Can you please tell us a little bit more about Zoom?
Absolutely, Logan. So we're using Zoom today, so you can chat to everybody on the show. If you go to the chat box, make sure, and I think there's a screenshot that comes up, make sure that you are talking to all panelists and attendees. You see it in the top right, not just to all panelists. The default is all panelists, so if you want to make sure you interact with everybody on the show, then please make sure you select all panelists and attendees. So remember, this is a weekly live show. We really want you to interact, and I'm ready to hand over.
Thanks, Kane. We're going to start again today with our Kahoot. So please go to a browser and log into or open kahoot.it in any browser on your phone or your PC, and we will get started.
And for those who are here for the first time, it's just kahoot.it. It's not kahoot.com. And like Denise said, on a phone or any browser.
Denise, it's asking me for a pin.
Okay, our pin today is 14912. So 14912, and then it'll ask you for your nickname.
What's the best way to do 5 digits? 14,912. I think that's hard. 14,912. Okay.
There's 4 questions today.
Okay, what is your favorite breakfast? Eggs and toast, full English breakfast, including black pudding, French toast. I barely have time to grab coffee. That's interesting, more than half, eggs and toast. About a quarter barely have time to grab coffee. What's your favorite part of Movember, November? Thanksgiving, Movember, recovering from rising, or change of seasons. Now there is no right answer, but you get to pick only one. Okay, more than half are going for Thanksgiving, a lot like the change of seasons. More like Movember than rising. What's your favorite part of December? The Sharing Show season finale. This is a big deal. You'll hear more about it soon. Ice on the roads. The end of year-end Workday activities, or preparation for taxes. Wow, okay, a lot of people looking forward to the Sharing Show season finale. You don't know why yet, but you will soon, by the end of the show. Where is Workday Rising in the US in 2020? Is it in Chicago? Is it in Dallas? Is it in New York? Is it not in any of those cities, actually? Now, this is actually a quiz question, and most people have that right. It is, of course, in San Francisco, for those who know. And for the 5 others, you're coming out west. Okay, this is not an actual quiz for real, but we had to have that in there.
Thanks, David. What's next on the agenda?
Up next, we have David, the Workday Sharing Guy.
Okay, hi everybody, this is David. Every single show I give my disclaimer. I have a handshake agreement with my previous manager at Workday. I'm no longer a Workday employee. This means that everything you see on the show is not representing Workday. This is customer grassroots. This is all part of a sharing movement, share-a-thons, the Sharing Show. So share-a-thons are knowledge sharing. This is not training. I highly recommend the Workday training. Now, I'm also going to add a mission here, right? So I'm on a mission to help as many Workday customers as possible. I don't think of this really as a personal mission that I just want to help as many Workday customers as possible. It's that I just meet a lot of Workday customers who need help. And so that's my current mission. Let's try to elevate everyone's knowledge with calculated fields is a good example. And you'll see some of that in the sharing show, but in this show in particular. And so I'm going to go ahead back to episode 16, which was just a little bit over a month ago. And I was wearing a shirt that said Rome, but on it were these Roman numerals, MMVII. And I came up with this example. That's a close-up picture of the sleeve of that shirt. And that, of course, is the year of Workday Release 3, which was Rome, and it was 2007, the year I joined Workday. And we put that into a quiz Kahoot, right? So for those who are prepping for the season finale, any quiz Kahoot that we've ever given is fair game for that season finale. That's just a hint. So here's the challenge. Given a year inside of Workday, say it's the hire date, how could you write a calc field, which is of course several calc fields, to turn the year into Roman numerals? So for example, if someone's hire date is 2019, you could assume it's just 2 digits. Or you could figure out how to make it 2 digits, and let's forget the 2000 part, and let's just put XIX for the value 19. Online search is fair game. And so I'm going to get back to this so that people know it's not an easy one. We're not going to cover it here. We're going to give everybody 2 weeks to come up with their answer. It is something that I've noticed, though, in the calc field workshops is sometimes people think a calc field should be easy, and they just give up. You don't realize you're trying to eat an entire elephant. So what do you do first for something like this? Do an online search. You don't have to actually solve it, at least the thinking part, right? So how do you turn a number into Roman numerals? You find the largest number here on this list, and then you use that, and then you subtract that from the total. I'm not going to give too much more. It says when you have a large calc field like this, what's your approach? Which function types do you need to use? And then I've noticed in workshops, people are trying to get the best solution. Who cares? It's just practice. And then once you're doing a lot of calc fields, you'll get better. So don't always try to come up with the best solution. Just try to get a solution. You've got 2 weeks to send it to us. Everyone should have an email for Denise, but you could contact us also through LinkedIn. And then stay tuned for more here on the season finale, which is coming up 2 weeks after that on December 18th. Here's an ask, and we're not introducing a guest. This is actually my ask. What is the best way to know that you've got the right field? I've recently seen in global values the number 5. That's the one I wanted, but the number 5 was also created on the worker object. So I had 2 different choices there. I'm just showing different screenshots that I collect. A whole bunch of last names, a whole bunch of legal name last names, a whole bunch of all home addresses, or even SSN, right? What is the best way in which to find the actual field? I'm asking this. I don't have an answer other than I click on these 3 dots, which some people call a Twinkie. And then it tells me which object it's on. But man, that's a lot of work when you have 8 of them to click. So any help from me in the chat, I'd like to know if anyone has a better way of knowing.
Thanks, David. Denise, what do we have next on the agenda?
Up next, we have learning reporting with Stephanie from New York.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, hi, Stephanie. You're on.
Thank you. So we wanted to share some success we've had with learning reporting. It hasn't always been the easiest, and one of our most popular ones is the priority traffic light report. You can see this is a report. We report by division and by course, and we use a color system to let people know how close they are to the actual goal we have for completing that training. You can see closer up with these percentages here that people can click on it and drill down, and we have our detailed data defaulted so that you can see the 11.7% in the case of basic knife safety of the people who have not taken the report. So people can use this as a really quick snapshot and then use the drill down features in order to get more information. And this gives our managers a great overview. We also found that using the different reporting data fields, data sources, that we had to break up our digital learning from our blended learning. And the reason is we use a boomerang integration to auto-enroll all of our employees into digital learning so we can use the learning enrollment data source. You can see that when the manager drills into this, they're only seeing people who have action that's required for them, the 45 people who need to take that first course. All of these employees are already enrolled, so they can simply talk to them and ask them to take it in their required for you. On the other hand, blended learning, you'll see that you can't automatically enroll them because the blended learning is an instructor-led course. So they know that Cassie and Erica and Cynthia have to be enrolled in the course with the instructor. So they know Cassie needs to be enrolled in the course called Accounting Office Part-Time. And then the dates, since she's been delivered, it can help prioritize who should be scheduled, and then they go ahead and they can reach out to the instructor and schedule those people. So we differentiated so we knew what action had to be required by the manager, enroll them or ask them to take the course. In the next report that we've delivered, we have an all-in-one. So you can see every course and you can see if they've completed it, and if they have, which day it was completed on. That was like the first person, or that Erica here on the third line is a customer service team member, but she's not yet enrolled in an instructor-led course. So it lets the manager know, yep, I've got to reach out to the instructor. If they have a yes in the not started column, that means it's a digital course and they need to talk to the employee about taking the digital course. So that's just a quick overview of the success we've had with learning reports using the two different data sources, campaign item records and learning enrollments, so that we can help our managers see what they need to do to make sure their employees do their training.
Stephanie, I've got, this is great, thank you. I've got like comments here or questions. I like the way the word yes shows up, which is, I'm gonna say anti one of my two brainstorms where I want the word no to show up in the UI. But this is a report that you have control of, right? So you could control whether or not you put the word no here. Is that right?
Yeah, we decided not to put no because it would look super busy. But in the options on each of the columns, I could have selected the option to put no when the calculated field was false. So we chose not to do that because we didn't want it to be busy, but you absolutely could. You could choose that option, show no when false. Those are all calculated fields of true, false for not yet enrolled, not started, and in progress.
Right. I like the way it shows here. I have a brainstorm that in the Workday UI, unlike a report, sometimes it's just empty and you don't know that that means the word.
Yeah.
But I'd like to also go back to one of your earlier slides. I want to point out here that some things are blue and then some things are black text. And the blue text means it's something you could click on. And it's something you said here on your first slide. You said people could drill in. Well, you cannot drill in on 0.0, it's black, but everything else is blue. Do your users know this, that if it's blue, they could click on it? Is it, or do you somehow?
They do actually. Yeah, so what we've done two things. We've done some similar sharing shows with our learners to help them to learn how to drill in. And we also have some excellent job aids that we use that our learning team has provided that teach people how to drill in, how to filter, how to also to change some of the prompts. So we have some really, really good job aids that we use.
Okay, all right, nice. I'm seeing some comments come in for you in the chat, Stephanie. At the very end, we have an open microphone. Are you able to stay on after people?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep, happy
Excellent.
to.
Thank you, Stephanie.
That's
You're
great.
welcome.
Thanks so much for sharing, Stephanie. And for everyone in the chat, remember to chat to all panelists and attendees if you want Stephanie and others to see your questions and comments. That would be fantastic. And what do we have next on the agenda?
Up next, we have Kelly from Texas with benefits year-end reminders.
Hey everyone, thanks for giving a few minutes to share today. I just wanted to kind of highlight some year-end reminders for benefits. I think most people, we are in the season of open enrollment, and a lot of things are, analyzed and updated as part of your open enrollment preparation. But there are a few things that we kind of put together that we wanted to remind you about. We'll just jump right into these top 5 things. The first is integrations. So we're going to send final elections for the current plan year. So you want to work with your provider to send that final file for your for the current plan year on that last day. This is typically an ad hoc launch rather than something that you schedule. And this is going to notify the provider of any changes to employee coverage due to a change in provider, as well as any life events or terms and other changes for the current plan year. So you're going to have an open enrollment file with all of the new enrollments, but you don't want to forget about anything that might have happened in the current year. Another reminder about integrations that they're typically scheduled on a plan year basis. So before that new plan year starts, you want to check your integration schedules for your existing providers and update them if needed within a new plan year date. The next reminder is about passive events. So passive events are jobs that are running in the background for benefits to automate certain benefit events. So some examples of common passive events that customers set up are for dependents aging out, so identifying people who need to be dropped from the plan because they have reached the maximum age, automatic benefit group eligibility checks, so people may be going from part-time to full-time or changing benefit groups, 401k auto enrollment, so if you have a file that's feeding over to your 401k provider with automatically enrolling employees into the plan, you can set that up as a passive event, as well as ACA eligibility checks. So these are all things, and there are many, many others that could be set up, but these are things that are very common, and they have expiration dates. So you want to run the scheduled future processes report and filter by that passive event rules job to view what passive events you have sitting out there and check those end dates and extend them if needed. So I think you can schedule things out in advance by about a year. So you just want to make sure that those don't stop and you're in a spot. The next one is kind of related, but it's about scheduled reports and alerts. So if you have scheduled benefit reports or any alerts that are going out, those also have expiration dates. So to keep them running through your new plan year, you want to go in and update any end dates there. And you can use that same scheduled future processes job to check for those scheduled reports, alerts, and that can also be if you have automated notifications that go out. Those all can be identified there, and then you can update those dates as you need to. And the last note is just about enrollment instructions. So you're probably, if you've gone through open enrollment, you probably updated all of the enrollment instructions for the open enrollment itself. But take a few minutes and double check that your everyday events, so things like new hires and other benefit events due to life events like marriage, birth, or adoption, that you've updated the enrollment instructions for the new plan year. So if you change providers or change plan details or anything like that, that you might have included in your open enrollment, you want to update those for your ongoing events as well, or what I call your everyday events, if that's applicable. And that could be new plan details, provider links, etc. And you can do that from the maintain enrollment instructions task. And that is, and the last one, sorry, last but definitely not least, is closing and finalizing open enrollment. So once you have closed your official open enrollment period and finalized that and committed all those records to the system, you may still need to go out and close and finalize that open enrollment multiple times through the end of the year and possibly into the new plan year, depending on how your waiting periods and how much time you give employees to enroll. So open enrollment events outside of that open enrollment period may open up due to new hires that came on board through the end of the year, as well as employees who have life event changes for the current plan year. That will reopen a open enrollment event for them to make changes. So you want to keep running that open enrollment status report regularly through the end of the year, and maybe even a couple of weeks into the new plan year to check for any open enrollment events that are sitting out there that need to be closed and finalized, so that those folks get properly enrolled into your new plan year.
That's
it for me.
great. Thank you so much, Kelly. It's end of the year is always a little wild, end of enrollment. Thank you. Next up, we have Movember with David, the Workday sharing guy.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm going to go quickly here. This picture shows that I need 4 more of you customers to join the team. This is Workday Alumni, Customers and Friends Movember team. Now, when you join, you get 5 guesses here on this challenge. When will Workday cross back over $200 and a penny? So joining is easy. Contact me if you're trying to join and you lose track, but join Movember and then join the team. You just search for Workday Alumni, Customers and Friends. If you have never heard of Movember or Movember, Workday makes a pretty big deal about it. This is where we are currently as far as fundraising. You don't have to do any fundraising to join the team. Our goal is to get 100 members. There's under 2 weeks left. But there's over 62 teams, just so you know, in the Workday network. So join us. I'm going to remind people of a Kahoot we did in a previous show where people voted for Thanksgiving as their favorite between Halloween and New Year's Day. Nobody voted for Valentine's Day, but that's the day that I have picked for Workday to cross over $200. Now, when you join Movember, you're going to get emails from them like this one. Can you spot the bro who's feeling low? It's only during this month. The rest of the year, you might only get 2 or 3. That one was interesting, though, to me for personal reasons. So I clicked and I see this, and then I clicked to find out more. And sure enough, there's a nice little 2-minute video, and it could save a life just watching this. You could do this without joining the team. Of course, if you join the team, you'll get these little reminders. So I zoomed in on the shirts, didn't know how to ask, didn't know what to say. Very interesting, their focus on mental health.
Thank you, David. What's next on the agenda?
Up next, we're going to talk about lookup range bands with David.
Okay, this is just a reminder here of something we saw from a guest at the last show. Lookup range band is a nice calc field that's quite helpful. So what are we going to do here? How are we going to take another bite out of this challenge? How do you obtain 2 digits from a hire date, for example? And do you want it to be text or numeric? These are just hints for those who are into doing this challenge. This is the lookup range band that we saw in the last show. You could see it on the YouTube channel, and you could hear the person presenting. Right here, you see that it returns to you text. It does not return to you a number.
Thanks, David. And what do we have next on the agenda?
Up next, we have Workday Security with Alex from Alabama.
Welcome, Alex.
Hey, everybody. Okay, so we decided to do a security audit this year of our Workday Security. It was actually something we had not done yearly since going live almost 3 years ago. So we found a lot of problem areas. And one thing that came up for us was we were finding that there were a lot of user-based security groups that still had terminated workers. Most of you probably have a similar configuration on your BP where there's a to-do that goes out to remove those users from those user-based groups. And we found that that was oftentimes not being done. So our solution was we came up with a report and an alert to help us clean that up. So it's just a pretty simple custom report that I set up and a configurable alert that goes out weekly. And the nice thing on the alert is it has the link task there. So you can just jump right in and remove those. So this is just the report config. As you can see here, it's pretty simple. I'm using the all Workday accounts data source. and I've just got 4 fields on my report for the username, the worker, the date they were termed, and the groups they were in. This is the filter, so it's checking to see that they're in the group terminee as self, which should indicate that that worker account belongs to a terminated worker. We originally did the report a different way, and we found that when we had contingent workers that converted over to full-time employees, their Workday account was linked, so it was kind of showing some inaccurate data there. But this seemed to be the best way to do it, to get the actual terminated workers on the report. This is a sample output. Since we've done the cleanup weekly, it's a lot better. But in this case, the workers in an MFA users group that we have, which is actually okay, so there's no action needed. So one thought to make the report better is to filter that group out, which we'll probably do. And here's the alert that is based on that same report that I just showed. You can see it's going to a group we have for our Workday admins. And I'd just like to point out the task. I don't know how many of you have configured alerts, but that's a really nice thing for us to have the related task there. When you click right on the notification in Workday, you can be taken directly to the task that you want to do without having to search for it. This is just the body of the alert. It's really simple. It just shows the worker and the groups they're assigned to. Then you can see a sample of what that looks like in an email, and it will also show up in your Workday notifications, which you can access from the email or directly within Workday. And you can see the button at the bottom for the task.
Okay, Alex, that's fantastic. I think a large percentage of the people might stay on for the open mic if they've got any questions, but in particular, wrapping it up like you did, showing that the button comes here on the bottom. Thank you very much, Alex. Okay, one more bite of the elephant. Could you avoid creating calc fields for the constants I, X, L, I, X, XL? Is there a way that you could avoid actually creating those constants? All things for you guys to think about during these next 2 weeks.
Thanks, David. Next up, we have some picks from Milan.
Hey everybody, it's Kane. So last week I was in Milan at Workday Rising in Europe, and it was a huge show. So it's about I think it's my 10th Rising now. About 3,500 attendees were there, treated to the usual live music, great sessions, and a really packed expo floor. Loads of vendor swag, lots of coffee because it was in Italy, and lots of great discussions. So some of you came up to the booth. It was great meeting those that came up. We also had a lot of people come up who'd heard about the show and were picking up the badges. You can see in the bottom left-hand corner there, me at the booth. There's some sharing show badges there that people were coming by for. And a lot of the people that had heard about the show had seen it mainly on YouTube and hadn't seen some of the live shows. So it was really good to meet people. And just some of the pictures there, my favorite one in the middle, that's me going down to the metro on the final day of Rising with Logan.
Thanks, Kane. It was great to be in Milan with you. And what's next? We have our wrap-up quiz Kahoot. Is everyone ready? We'd like to thank our co-sponsor, Humanity.
Hi everybody. This is David from Humanity, which, as you can see in our booth, we're one of Workday's approved software partners for employee shift scheduling software, and I'm thrilled to be helping out on the sharing show. I love seeing all the grassroots involvement, and hats off to David and Kane for getting you guys all together on a regular basis. It's an amazing part of the Workday ecosystem.
And David, do you have like a surprise you would like to tell us about for the season finale?
Yeah, we'd like to basically, since Milan came up and I'm a pizza aficionado, I thought maybe we'd be able to have some sort of fun contest on our season ending show with having a free pizza lunch for the winning Kahoot team. So look forward to that coming in a few weeks.
All right, thank you, David and Humanity, for sponsoring here the grand prize here on the season finale, December 18th. The winner will get a pizza party for, I think David's idea was for their entire team, although there's some limits, which, you know, maybe 20 to 30 people, something like that, not hundreds, right? Oh,
That's
David?
right.
Yeah, okay. All right. Thank you again, David and Humanity.
Thank you, David. Let's see who will make the podium this week with our quiz Kahoot. So this is the same process. Just go ahead and log into kahoot.it on any browser. If you're still have your browser open, you may have to refresh from the previous Kahoot. Okay, our PIN number is 627421. 627421. And
this
these
is,
do have right and wrong answers.
yeah, right, Denise, right and wrong answers, which is practice for winning that pizza party. We'll have one more practice similar to this 2 weeks from today. And then 4 weeks from today is the season finale.
All right, here we go. There's 6 questions.
Okay, where is Workday rising in Europe in 2020? Is it in Barcelona? Is it in Copenhagen? Is it in Dublin? Is it in Prague? Now, sometimes questions on these Kahoots are not covered during the sharing show proper. Most often we do try to at least mention it. So, yeah, there was a pretty good split there. So, you know, some people knew it was Copenhagen. Okay, for the season finale, okay, so Cal is on top by 17 over Bridget, and then Aaron, several in a close tie for third place. All right, next question. What is the value of Roman numeral XL, extra large? Is it 40? Is it 60? Is it 110? Is it 1990? And now sometimes it's just shown on a slide. The slide showed XL in order with others. Let's see how many people got the answer right. It is 40. Okay, Bridget on top here by 20 points over Shane. And then Cal is close. Fourth place is further away. Okay, third question. Where is your podium t-shirt currently located? Is it in California? Is it in Montana? Is it in Milan? Is it, was it left in Orlando? Denise, where are these? Oh my gosh.
Kudos to the one right guess. Your podium t-shirts are with me in Montana.
Wow. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, Bridget. Too bad this one isn't the pizza party if you're a pizza fan. But you're pretty far ahead. More questions to come though. Question number 4. How many rising pins did Queen wear in Milan? Did he wear 0, 4, 9, or 15? This is a great question and an example for you to practice for these quiz Kahoots. He didn't mention the pins, but he did mention he's been to about 10 risings. So you would need to know that a pin represents rising. Okay, so 15 got that answer right. Have we stumped Bridget? Let's see. Oh, okay. So Cal and Shane are catching up. 1 or 2 left. How many left? We're getting close. Okay, 2 questions left. Which is not an example of a passive event? Dependents aging out, 401k auto enrollment, passive aggressive interviewing, ACA eligibility checks. These are actually verbally mentioned by Kelly as well as on her slide. Turns out she did not, it's not an example, right? She did not mention anything about passive aggressive interviewing. So most people got that, including Bridget. Cal and Shane getting close. We'll see what happens on the final question. When is the season finale of the sharing show? Is it today? This is it. Is it December 4th? Is it December 18th? Is it December 25th? Exciting season finale. Any Kahoot question that we have asked in any of the show, any of our shows, any of our 20 shows, is fair game for that season finale. Okay, most people know when it is. and hopefully people could find the YouTube channel. Bridget, you did it by 5 points over Cal. I'm laughing, that's so close. And then within 100 points is Shane. Congratulations to all who made the podium, and you know where your shirt is currently located. Well, Kane, I think we're done. Of course,
Excellent.
we have open mic coming.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Denise. Thank you, Logan. And special thank you to our guests for taking part in the show today and sharing. As always, we publish this on YouTube, as you can see on the screenshot here. All the recordings are up there. And if you would like to go and subscribe, make sure you do that. And also hit the notification so you get notified when this episode goes live. Then the season finale is on the 18th, but the next show is in 2 weeks' time on December the 4th. So as David mentioned, we're going to now go over to the open mic, but I'm going to close the show out. If you'd like to stay on for the open mic session, please do. All that's left for me to say now is everyone have a great workday.